Hi folks, welcome to Reread, where I am rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order, something no one should ever do. Unless you've read it all before and you're bored and you just say, wow, what the heck? Like I am right now. Again, I said I wouldn't do short stories, but here I am doing short stories again because I just read it and I wanted to talk about it. Was Labor Pains. Labor Pains was a Hyperspace short fiction, came out on the website. If you were a member of the Hyperspace fan club, you got to read short fiction, which is why I always was a member of the Hyperspace fan club, or for most of my time reading Star Wars I was. But this one, Labor Pains, is written by John Jackson Miller. It is written in first person, Dear Diary, which I do not like at all. It is Griff, though, kind of talking about what it's like with his crew, kind of talks through an adventure where something funny happens, and it was okay, but the whole time I thought, these characters deserve to be comic books. A lot of times, and I've thought this before, even though I may not have said it on any of my reviews here, I always imagined, and I always thought that the books were better than the comic books. That was me. I know there's a lot of comic book Star Wars fans out there, and I love that there are. But for me, I'm like, no, nothing beats a book. The books, if you could talk about all the stories, combining comic books and books together, I would have books in my top 10, probably my top 20, maybe. But the thing is, though, for comic books, I'm like, no, any comic book would work better as a story. And I kind of believe that with Dark Empire. I would say that. But with Knights of the Old Republic, what Labor Pains made me realize is it has to be a comic book. I have to see these characters. I have to see the expressions. I have to see the events unfold. Because it's more of a comedy in a way. It's not drama. And it's just me. Comedy works better in the comic books, I think. Now, you can't. That's not to say you can't write comedy in the books, right? I mean, look at the X-Wing series, right? It's hilarious. And there's other funny moments, too. But for me, reading Labor Pains, the whole time I thought, wish this was a comic book. You know, even if it's Griff writing in his little journal about having this new crew and what it's like being on the job and what each one of his crazy, crewmen are like. I'd rather see that in the comic book form. Now, Labor Pains isn't bad. I think you can find it pretty easily on the internet. Is it worth reading? Is it something you have to read? No. But like I said, for anyone who loves Knights of the Old Republic, you'll probably want to give this a shot. One thing I thought was interesting when reading Labor Pains, he says he picked up some of these people. It's been now a couple of years. You're thinking, no, it hasn't. They've only had 3 story arc adventures. But when I thought about it, when was this written? 2 years after the series had started. So, in a way, you'd been reading Knights of the Republic for 2 years already. So for Griff to say, yeah, I've had these for 2 years now, or a couple of years, you're thinking, yeah, they've had them for a long time. Yet the story arcs themselves are very brief. And to be honest, I don't think more than a few months have gone by in those first 12 issues. So I'm also thinking of moving, and you can move Labor Pains probably anywhere in this series, and I'm going to wait till I reread the entire series to figure out where I would probably replace Labor Pains. I mean, obviously he's been with them for a few years, so but I think I would push Labor Pains out a little bit further now after reading this, because again, John Jackson Miller was just thinking, yeah, I started this comic book series 2 years ago, so 2 years ago. Timeline in the comic book, I don't think it's been 2 years. Now, it may have been. I don't think they really give time that much of a mention in the series. But either way, I understand why that was written in there, but I found it interesting because I thought, maybe have to move this. That's why I'm rereading these again, shifting things around. The Journal of Demigod and whatever. I'd shift that and have you read it after you read this series now. And maybe Labor Pains, I would push back even further. But I just wanted to give my thoughts about that. I'll see you next time with another video.